It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show, coming to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern or later, and talk about guns for an hour or so. Well, is Night Strike awake still? I guess I could say Night Strike awake. This is a panel discussion, a panel show. It's episode 824. I guess it's evolved into a panel show, and that's what we are tonight. And we talk about, ideally, things that are not your news of the day, not the stuff that's being fed to us from the mainstream medias out there, especially gun-related stuff. This is late in the evening. You shut up. Get out of here. It's late in the evening, and the idea is that a lot of the other shows during the prime time, during the night, will have already addressed whatever maybe important news is going on. So this is the respite from that and an alternative to it. And when there's nothing being forced down our throats, Second Amendment-wise, we have sort of a loose guideline for what we chat about. On Mondays, we talk about behind the scenes, what it's like to be a content creator for Second Amendment content or gun-related content. On Tuesdays, we talk about our Second Amendment for 2A Tuesdays. Wednesdays, we talk about entertainment. Thursdays is something, and then Fridays will be entertainment and tech. Oh, what am I saying? Industry and tech. Thursdays are going to turn into how to shut up 16-year-old cats. Can you hear that cat making all that noise?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Duct tape.
Yeah, that cat was silent like for the last 3 days until I started talking right now. What? Yeah.
She wants to live stream.
Yeah, exactly. So did anybody know what I started the show with today?
It was some Cheech and Chong stuff, but Eric My Eye.
Oh, yeah. That sound like.
I didn't have it queued up very good. I queued it up from like there accidentally. Anyhow, so anybody know why I used that as the intro music today? I think one of us does. Two of us does. And that's because Cheech is an idiot. So this is...
No, Chong.
You're right, Chong, sorry. So Cheech is probably an idiot too. But they're both funny. They're getting paid to be idiots, right? So Clover, you know who Cheech and Chong are?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Psycho, Cheech and Chong?
Oh, yeah, Big Bamboo.
Dead Horse, obviously. Gizzard, you're familiar. Night Strike, you know who we're talking about? You're the youngest.
Yep, Cheech and Chong. I've watched their movies, yes.
Okay. So does everybody know who Joe Rogan is?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm assuming. Is anyone not a fan of Joe Rogan? Is anyone...
I could take him or leave him.
Yeah, me too. He seems real wishy-washy sometimes.
Same.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of him. I like him better than some people. I suppose better than listening to like maybe Oprah or something, although I might be more interested in listening to Oprah because that's a different point of view. But he drives me nuts. I actually don't like listening to him because he should be smarter than he is, right? He acts like he's smart or whatever, but he seems like a real idiot with gun stuff.
Well, he'll get off into books he's read, right? In one segment, and then the next minute act like a total idiot, blithering idiot. And you're like, dude, you were just quoting books you've read on the subject, and then now you're an idiot? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't think he seems all that brilliant to me. He seems like he can be lucid, and then other times I've seen him and he looks like he's either drunk or stoned or just asleep or something.
Well, he does that a lot. They do get stoned on that show, and they do drink on that show, a lot.
There was I forget what show it was. It wasn't The Man Show. There was some other show where these like drunk comedians would get drunk, and like they were alcoholics, so they could get pretty drunk, and it would be still something worth watching because they needed to be that drunk to be like at that level or whatever. Like, I don't think this guy's like that. When I seen this guy I'm going to say maybe a third of the time when I see somebody points me to this guy's show, he just looks like he's sort of asleep or something, or like lethargic. You know, he doesn't look out of it. He just looks like he could care less. Like he's not phoning it in because he's there, but the equivalent of phoning it in when you're standing right there next to the person, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
For
Maybe that's
me-
just the impression I get.
I know for me, it's always has to do with the guest. I mean, that's going to dictate whether or not I watch him. Is his guest? I don't watch him regardless of the guest. It's got to be a guest I'm interested in.
Yeah, I only ever watch them when somebody points to me. So, like that horse did today. This is Chong, I guess.
Like they want to arm teachers, for instance.
Oh wait,
It's perceived enemies that anybody with a gun. That's the whole thing. You know, if you have a gun, you're not very intelligent.
Why's that?
Because you're paranoid.
Wait a minute. If you have a gun, you're not intelligent because you're paranoid?
Having a gun means that you're afraid that someone's going to come and attack you.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Right.
And so that having a gun is like they want to arm teachers, for instance.
okay, so I'm gonna leave it there. So then that's 25 seconds of it, which is probably still enough to get copyrighted. But since we're commenting on it or whatever, that's an opportunity right there. I mean, I think Cheech Strong are funny back in the day, so my first reaction isn't to just, you know, throw Chong out with the bathwater. He's an idiot, but it sounds like he's delusional, right? He thinks be very pigeonholed, like myopic, or what is the word? Like, you know, version of what all gun owners are. Like he's completely unaware.
Right.
And he'll go on in this 10 minutes that was this
Yeah,
Rogan?
and everybody who owns a fire extinguisher is pyrophobic.
Well, Chong is if you kept up with anything with him, he's not a highly educated individual. And he got in trouble. He's gotten in trouble with his business and everything.
Yeah, big deal. He also, you could say, he innovated. You could also say that he helped innovate. So I'm not gonna say I got nothing against the guy, and I'm not here to shit on him because he's just one guy who has, you know, a billion people with this. But it's an unaware, uneducated due to disinterest attitude, and he's completely convinced that he understands gun owners. Mm-hmm. He'll go on to say that he's a sharpshooter and all this, like he considers himself like aware because when he was a kid, they shot guns, and then, you know, he saw some horrible shit that he'll talk about. I'm not going to bring up, but you know, because he saw someone act irresponsibly and feloniously, like someone committed a felony in front of him. And again, he associates that with all gun owners and extrapolates that to all gun owners. So I just thought that was an interesting thing because he's obviously everybody knows who he is. And, you know, he's what he is. He's just an entertainer. So a comedian. He's like, of entertainers, he's hardly one that, you know, anybody's going to hold up. Bloomberg's not going to have him on tomorrow as like a knowledgeable, you know.
Yeah, not an A-lister.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's an opportunity to see, like I say, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It's copyrightable, whatever, but it's 10 minutes there, like that little chunk. I guess it is from Rogan, so Rogan must take little excerpts from his show and repost them as little blips.
Sure, and other people do as well, but yeah.
But this looks like it's from his, because Dead Horse just posted it earlier on the main page of Gun Channel. So anyway, you can watch that 10 minutes, and it's insightful. I mean, it's difficult. It's like listening to nails on a chalkboard because he's so wrong, and he's just like, again, he's just a big dummy. But at the same time, there's lots and lots of opportunity there to hear what it's like from their perspective. And going forward, when we're talking about, I don't know what to make content about, I don't have a new gizmo or a new light. You know, I'm not in the pocket of big light trying to help them sell flashlights every 5 minutes, so I don't have a new video. Well, yeah, maybe dig into some of these interviews and, you know, blah, 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 and then address the issue, just like what we did here, right?
Right. Yes.
So with that, I'm going to go back to what PBR posted this earlier or yesterday, right after this show or something. Let's see. This is again Rogan, but this time Ed Calderon. Anybody know who Ed Calderon is?
Doesn't ring any bells.
Sorry, man. Great.
Thanks for coming here, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you for extending the invitation.
Well, I love your Instagram. It's very informational, and well, tell everybody what you do so people get a handle on this.
Yeah,
first.
I'm a non-permissive environment specialist. Basically, I teach people how to live, move, and travel in places where they probably shouldn't be traveling. You know, how to get out of handcuffs, how to get out of zip ties. You know, I show people how to survive in such environments. My background is in law enforcement in Mexico, so you know, I spent a lot of time down there. And over the years, that's kind of led me into teaching myself how to survive in that environment. And apparently, after a while, that made me kind of look sought after as far as teaching other people how to survive in such environments. So I've been doing that for a while here in the U.S. Military, law enforcement, civilians.
Yeah, and you started working in law enforcement.
Is this copyrightable? I guess if I talk over it like this, it won't be able to catch the
you started
audio.
before everything got crazy.
It being Rogan, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, so basically the guy talks about starting in law enforcement in Mexico in 2004, and then transition into the 2 presidents ago, and initiative to take out the cartels in a different way. And it's an hour and 43 minutes, and it is awesome. Has anybody else had a chance to listen to this? It's on the main page of Gun Channels. I guess Honda posted it earlier, 19 hours ago.
I haven't, but
It is highly worth listening to.
Does he write a book?
Nah, I don't. Well, maybe, but he's mostly his experiences being a law enforcement in Mexico, and then the last 4 years he's been in the United States and doing what he just talked about. You know, doing some training and stuff up here.
It seems like I was hearing about a guy that basically same story and all that of him, and a similar name. It seemed like that I had heard that had written a book, and it was interesting to me. I wanted to pick up that book, but
he might have written a book. See if there is. His name is Ed Calderon, and man, that is like so interesting because he gets into the dynamics of what it's like in Mexico from the law enforcement point of view, and just as a Mexican point of view, the drug war and the wall and the immigration. He has insight on the last wave of those people from South America that came up and landed in Tijuana. He compares that to the Haitians that, you know, through the refugees or whatever status, like came in and merged into Tijuana. Talks about how when he started in 2004, Tijuana was the most deadly city in the world. Say that again, Tijuana, like a stone's throw away from San Diego, right? Literally on the other side of the fence from San Diego. Most deadly city in the world. When he started in 2004, and he said they worked hard to get it off of the list. It wasn't even on the list of most deadly cities, and it's back again to today. Tijuana is the most deadly city in the world. 6 murders a night. Wow. 6 murders every night in Tijuana. Think about the last time they talked about, you know, the other civilized countries, the other, you know, modern countries, the other wealthy countries. They are intentionally ignoring Tijuana, which is, you know, on the other side of a fence from San Diego, California.
Right.
So excellent interview. Can't recommend it enough. He's got an interesting Instagram channel, whatever page, and then I'm gonna go look at his book and see if he's got a if he has a book, or I mean his website if he's got.
I did some looking. I didn't see one.
So the store isn't available. But anyway, he seems like a really cool guy. And what's cool is that, you know, having been born in Mexico and being in law enforcement, which doesn't sound like the best job in Mexico, because you're either corrupt or you're hated, right? And or suspected to be corrupt. You know, he talks about how there's really no way to leave, you either die. But if you leave, you're suspected of leaving because you've got paid off, and people leave to then work for the cartels. So there's suspicion, and, you know, 30%, he said, about 30% of Mexican law enforcement is on the take or, you know, paid off by cartels. And talks all about how the different military, you each 6 years, they have a 6-year presidency in Mexico. Each 6 years, how they change, and more often they'll change the names and the infrastructure, I guess, of the military in Mexico. But what they're really doing in reality is just taking the hats off of these guys, putting new hats on them in a different rank system, but it's the same human beings, the same people, so they have the same problems. And really, really, really interesting. I guess what I was going to say, though, is that he's not, well, you just got hiccups. You can hear him there. He's not just well spoken as far as like being bilingual, but he's also like savvy to, it's just really easy to listen to. And since he's so comfortable with English and our lingo and stuff, it's just very, very easy to absorb his info. Not like listening sometimes, when somebody's bilingual from another country and you're trying to, kind of sometimes a distraction to deal with the language issue. There's no language barrier at all. It's like the opposite, absolute pleasure. And because of that, you're getting really good insight. And Rogan, like I say, he's hit or miss, right? But I don't think he did that good in this interview. And you still get a good glimpse at Ed. So had nothing really to do with guns except where he talks about, the violence and stuff down there too. And the whole, it's interesting listening to these two talk about the whole Fast and Furious. That was my 2 topics tonight. Anybody else got anything else?
Depends on the category or realm that the road we want to go down, I guess.
Go down the road.
Are we an open forum? Yeah. So I posted an Instagram picture earlier, and I don't know if anybody is I don't know. I guess the Bud Life in me is trying to break out or something. I don't know, but so I've had this pair of BDU pants in my closet that have been in there for years, right? I mean, literally, God, they had to have been in there 3 or 4 years, probably. And I've never worn them. Picked them up at the Army Navy store. I don't even know the brand or anything. So I won't get into the conversation that led to me going in there and putting these on. But holy crap, I don't know that I may throw away all of my blue jeans. Seriously. They're so freaking comfortable, and they're lightweight, and you get a breeze, you can get some air in there, and they they got give when you bend over, you squat down, and I'm digging them. I'm digging them, man. And I got
so you've never worn BDU pants before?
No. No.
Okay, yeah. So they're definitely more like a pajamas.
They are. That's exactly what I have said like 10 times today. I've told my wife. I mean, it's because I've got pajama pants, and like some days I don't leave the house or whatever, so I literally don't take pajama pants off. I'll just get up and just wear them all day, right?
You get the lightness and the looseness, but this way you got like all these pockets, and it's made out of material that's literally bulletproof. Well, most of the time it's bulletproof. I'm assuming these are made by somebody who's actually making them, not just to look like it or whatever.
Yeah. No, these are fairly lightweight or whatever, but they're, I told my wife, I said, it's just like having pajama pants on, but I don't have to go put pants on to go to town if I need to,
Let's talk about pants. So too bad Daniel's not in here because he'd probably get interested in this discussion too. So first off, anybody else in Clover's position where you've been wearing jeans for some reason all your life and you're still wearing jeans all the time and you've never worn like a pair of BDUs or something else?
Don't even own a pair.
Yeah, that'd be me. I wear jeans all the time.
You never even tried a pair of BDUs on?
Nope.
Okay. Oh. And then, Psycho, what are you saying? You don't even own jeans or you don't own anything else?
I don't own I think the only thing I own that looks like a BDU is hunting pants.
Mm-hmm. And that can be
with extra big pockets and stuff in them, but that's for hunting. I don't wear those around the house.
Right. Night Strike?
I've got BDUs.
All right. And then
I wear them.
That horse, I'm assuming, has worn BDUs before.
Yep.
So that's interesting. So that's one of the things that's neat about having discussions like this. I would have never thought about that, but because it's pants, right? I mean, you figure you would have at least figured maybe for a costume or like an event or something you wore them, or like, just tried them on in the store and decided
Well, occasionally I've worn like khakis, right?
Oh no, that's totally different though. Like,
but it's not the same. It's not
No.
the same. These are
So-
these are thicker. These are in between jeans and khakis, and then the pockets are freaking amazing. And
well, the material. So you got a couple of things going on here. So pants we could talk about pants for a long, long time, because it's one of those things that you don't talk about, but there's a lot to them, and they're foundation. They're something that everything else gets put in or built on, right?
Right.
So you've got your jeans, and the only thing good about jeans is they give you support or whatever. But they can't like kick nothing. You can't like hardly climb up shit. I've hated jeans ever since I was a little kid. So I haven't worn them in a long, long time. But then from jeans, you get your like khaki, or like think of like World War II dungarees, or the BDU's version of World War II and early Vietnam, just the solid green sort of pants. They're cotton, very, very comfortable, and you can start to move your legs around and kick up in the air, climb up on something, but no pockets, just plain old pockets, and pretty weak material. Honestly, the cotton, mainly because it was built in the 50s, it's all old and whatever now. But so then they came out with these BDUs. Now the material you're talking about, there's different materials. There's summer and there's winter BDUs. So you'll notice a big difference. A winter BDU is thicker cloth. It's a different cloth. And then there's summer, and then there's jungle. So depending on, looks like what you got there is just probably winter even. Or summer usually almost looks like ripstop or something, and jungle is almost like very, very lightweight.
Wow, I can't believe these would be winter, because they're not heavy. They're fairly light.
Oh no, but compared to jeans, you're right. But you'll know what I'm talking about whenever you go check out a military surplus store now with that in mind, because think of like Gore-Tex and stuff. Like, it gets really
my plans to go tomorrow, honestly.
Okay, well, hold on before you start spending money. So BDUs, remember, this is 1970s tech, that evolved and was gone by 1990s. So these are neat and everything, but they're not the pinnacle. So the main issue with BDUs is your back pocket has a button on it, and that gets annoying after some amount of time sitting on it or getting stuck on stuff, and the buttons are dumb. The front pockets, while they're better than jeans because they got more room and stuff, they're just there's more tech that goes into pockets nowadays. And then your side whatever cargo pockets, that was the beginning of like, oh, this is a great idea, but again, they've just evolved those to where they're way more ergonomic and better now. Mainly the buttons on there are just spaced poorly on old original BDUs, so that you'll notice it when you compare it with a newer set of BDUs. The buttons are just, or Velcro is in places that just is more useful. Like when you sit down, stuff doesn't fall out of your pockets as much. Imagine after 10 years of everybody falling stuff out of their pockets, they just change the pants around to work better when you're both sitting and standing. Right. So when you get to your newer versions, multicam and the digital patterns, they're going to be very similar, but they're going to be cut a little bit differently. Like the pockets will be angled a little bit differently, and then you'll get like reinforcements when you put like a flashlight or a knife in there. Just little stuff. So a modern pair will be better off. You'll be better off with. But so you've got your BDUs that gets issued to everybody. Anytime you got to go outside in the military, you're going to put on BDUs. If you're not in some kind of formation or doing a desk job, you're wearing these BDUs, right? So they're kind of like jeans, but that's not ideal for everybody. Every once in a while, if you're jumping out of an airplane or doing something, where you need something different, they came up with better stuff, right? So there are other options out there. So I'm going to suggest taking a look at a surplus store that does, like Dickies and what am I trying to say? Like work clothes, like stuff for smocks and
this one does
scrubs and shit. Yeah. Because when you get into one of those, you'll find that there's their contractor's pants. Have you ever worn like a Dickies contractor's pants type of thing?
No.
So those are made out of a duck material, but a lot of times they got more crotch and shit because in a job site, you're probably, cowboys, where jeans come from cowboys. They, except for jumping up on a horse, they're really not climbing around on stuff too much, or at least they didn't. So your work pants are going to be more for like, give you more ability to move your legs around. Right. But they got a more stiff material. So you know what a duck is, like a canvas? That's a sweet material. It's a little better than denim, in my opinion. It lasts a hell of a lot longer, way more, stands up a lot better to abrasiveness and stuff, nails and scrapes and stuff. And then the contractor's pockets are not like cargo pockets. That's where you've seen them, where you get like a thing for a ruler and a hammer and stuff. So like a screwdriver, a cell phone. The pockets are a little narrower, and they're along the seams, but super useful. And then, so a lot of the, and I bring those up because when you get to like Mogadishu 90s, right? People had already been wearing BDUs, but they weren't perfect. And because they're kind of lightweight and kind of like pajamas, they don't hold your pants up enough and stuff. So, they're okay, but they're not ideal. So some of your like Delta and Rangers and stuff or Delta probably, guys that could have relaxed uniform standards, they could do whatever they wanted with their clothing. They started to wear some contractors' clothes, stuff that guys would wear on oil rigs and stuff, like heavy duty, Carhartt, Dickies. And then you start to see the tactical pants evolve. And everybody's going to roll their eyes because it has the word tactical in it. But fuck you, it's made for people like Delta and guys jumping out of like fast ropes and stuff. So these are pants that have wear areas like in your crotch and in the back of your knees and shit for like when you're actually doing stuff. They'll have extra pads in your knees. So sometimes you don't even need a knee pad. They'll just have enough extra padding and material there that they effectively are enough of a knee pad to take a knee once in a while. They'll also have pockets and stuff up there, so you can add a piece of foam or a piece of ballistic. If you're going to be sitting in a vehicle and you have to worry about up armor in your bottom, your lower end, you can sometimes have places just literally put soft armor up into these tactical pants. But the pockets will be another level. They're more of like a hybrid between a CCW pant, which is going to look like a khaki slack, just with the perfect pockets for CCW. Where a tactical pant is like a construction, contractor type of pant. Mixed with an EDC pant. So you won't get cargo pockets as much, but you'll get multiple pockets going up and down your leg that are sometimes subtle or just, more smaller, not just a one size fits all, but they're there to hold AR-15 mags or Glock mags or something similar. They're there to hold knives and, keys and stuff, as opposed to just a cargo pocket, which could hold, anything that's 9x6. So that's what I'd recommend. And then I guess finally paramedics, medical, like paramedics, guys that are out doing stuff, not like a doctor. They also can have like a nice looking pant, but it has a lot of hidden pockets in it for all their like flashlights and tourniquets and stuff, and also big open crotches so you can like take a knee or do something without having to worry about your pants fighting you. And I would look at all of those if you haven't ever explored anything besides jeans, because what you're experiencing with the pockets and the freedom of BDUs, like that's old tech. Like they've had decades to improve on that. And if you can find a pair of tactical pants that are sweet, well, we're talking channel stuff. Clothing is just like steel targets or holsters. Everybody wants to get their clothing out there, and almost any more company that's you have a relationship with, they make it in the USA ideally or something, and they'll send you whatever you can do, especially if you're making videos and stuff. Like they'll send you pants and shirts and hats, whatever, coats, so that you can do their stuff.
Yeah, I've already got a couple of companies that I work with, but I haven't gotten anything like this. I've always gotten bags and stuff from them.
So anyway, that's my pants sit rep. I think pants are neat, and just one of those things, as it's just been interesting. I think that over the years, like I say, since CCW or EDC has been, spreading across the country, and more people are, doing it and carrying, people in different walks of life and stuff. You start to see, you've seen it, like, there's literally pants made for CCW and stuff now. So same thing with like just useful pants. Have you seen the pants made out of fire hose? Duluth manufacturing, I think, out of Wisconsin or Minnesota.
Right.
So you know what fire hose is made out of?
Oh,
they
yeah.
make pants out of that. It's almost like wearing chaps, except pants. It's not necessarily exactly what you're looking for, but since we're talking pants.
Yeah. Wow.
That's cool.
Chance is saying he doesn't think he owns 6 pair of pants. I have a shit ton of pants because I get thin and fat, so I have patents depending on if I'm thin or fat.
Yeah, I've got jeans that are old. I've got jeans that are probably 10 years old or older. My wife has patched them, and there's more patch than jeans at this point. But I don't know. A lot of times, one of the reasons that they need patches is those wear areas, not wear from like abrasive, like rubbing up against, but like the crotch area, right? And just like where the fabric pulls tight all the time on you. I don't know.
And just
seems like
seams. Anywhere there's a seam and normal washing and drying and stuff like that's hard on clothes and just.
Oh, dude, have you ever watched something about the clothing industry? I mean, if you want to hate the planet and hate human beings and hate our systems and hate capitalism and hate international trade, like, go look at anything about clothing. Our clothing, like, we do horrible stuff with our food, I think, but clothing is like, that's a disgrace. Like, the entire human race is just a bunch of jerks with the way we do clothes. So if you look at clothes, it's like literally fads and fashion come from that. Like, it's in, what do they call it? Like, intentional, what's the word? Like,
obsolescence.
Obsolescence. Thank you. Like, they literally build stuff because they build clothes shitty because they know you're not going to wear them more than like 4 times or something. Like, and most people don't. So it's just like mountains of resources go to these countries. They make them into clothes. They drag them over here. We wear them once or twice. We throw them away. We send them to other countries, and they wade through the mountains of shit and try to make stuff out of them. It's a real mess. But that's why I just can't. And not only that's a reason I don't like wimpy Pakistani shitty clothes from like Walmart or your typical store, but also because they fall apart. Like, I like to own a pair of pants until they don't work anymore, right? I don't want that to be 5 weeks. I want that to be 5 years or something, right? Mm-hmm. I only buy clothes that are made for like work or contractors and stuff, because that stuff can hold up. But most of that stuff, you buy jeans even, is designed to just look like they want it to look. And they know you're probably going to buy it in another year. They want you to buy it in 2 years for sure, though, right?
Right.
I mean, unless I'm wrong, jeans are not made like back when I was a kid. You buy jeans because jeans were going to last forever, right? They're not like that anymore, right?
No, they don't last.
Ozzy saying EMT pants are real comfortable. I used to like EMT pants when I went to school and I had like a job where I had to go hang out with people and do stuff, because it's like they just look like, they look a little bit better than khakis because they're usually like some kind of permanent press. They look like they're ironed all the time, but they got just really cool pockets and you don't see the pockets.
Right. Right.
Oh, another thing is real pants like made for work will have like, 1-inch belt loops, where like, girly pants are always going to have like those, or half the time they have those like little mini belt loops that put in like stylish belts that you can't really hold a gun on.
Right. Yeah, and I didn't even think about this. I didn't even try to put my belt through these BDUs.
Oh, and that's something else. The BDUs are neat. You need a belt because as soon as you start putting stuff in the pockets, like, the waistline's not going to hold it up. But again, you're talking old tech. So those belt loops are like the oldest belt loops you're going to find. They get way better as time goes on, and they get more strong and they get fewer. You get to the newer pants, especially tactical pants and stuff, you might only have 3 or 4, maybe 5, depending how fat you are, belt loops on it, because they know you need all that room for holsters and stuff. So I mean, they've thought of everything. Like, literally, these companies have come and gone over just the time I've been going to SHOT, coming and going with, like, evolving, more and more useful pocket designs and layouts of belts and pockets and stuff.
Well, one thing I've noticed on the more expensive pants on the belt loops is that there'll be more padding around that waist where your belt goes, which allows you to purchase a much more stiffer belt, but still be comfortable. And so I've been able to go to a much stiffer belt and not have it dig into me and stuff, because there's all this extra padding there. It's really nice.
So I've got a weird question. So since we're talking about the belt and that, that area in the loops, there is a piece of fabric on either side that's running through it, like runs from like loop to loop. I think that's like an adjustment. Is that a waist adjustment?
Okay, so you're talking about on your kidneys?
Basically, yeah.
So depending on when it was made, the original ones had this horrible piece of metal that would jab you in the kidneys all the time back there, and this little piece of strap that would go through the piece of metal buckle.
Right. Yeah.
Does it have the metal on there?
This is
like where your kidneys are.
It feels plastic, but it may be
Okay, so that's basic. I'm guessing it is plastic because the metal was seriously like annoying, and it would be cold in the winter and shit like that. But that's how you adjust an old pair of BDUs. They would have the front would be, you know, it's also a uniform, so you're supposed to look correct. So they would adjust it in back where you don't see it, and then when you put a belt on, it overlaps it. But the problem is, it was a shitty design, and because like Dead Horse is saying, the fabric isn't very sturdy or whatever, robust when you fold it or whatever you want to say. Like, let's say you bought, you know, BDUs are also like large, medium, and extra large. Like, you don't buy a 42, you buy a 40 to 44 or something. So if you're on the small side of the BDU and you tighten those things up all the way, you're going to get that like fold, but it's going to flop all around, and you're going to have like this thing hanging down half the time showing your underwear out. Like, you got to get used to like how to kind of put yourself together when you're wearing BDUs if you're on the small side. If you're on the large side of it, it doesn't matter. You're not going to notice it at all. But if you're trying to cinch them up, you are going to get those, like, I guess pleats, I guess would be the way to call it.
Yeah. Right.
But again, that's old tech. So when you get to newer and newer stuff, they either put elastic in there, or, you know, they just make them more appropriate sizes. So they're only like 2 sizes and not trying to span 4 or 5. So that you don't have to worry about that kind of take up. But yeah, that's something that you'll notice as they evolve, that metal thing goes away, and then they don't try to span sizes or
so sizes. And so I'm guessing these, because these are new, there's no way these are used,
right?
So I guess there's companies that just reproduce old designs. Then is what you're saying?
Well, number one, there's probably still countries that use that BDU pattern in their military. So they're probably, if it's like proper, or what's the other one, spec something.
I don't know what this
True
is.
Spec. Those two get licenses from the government, and they make them off the same spec. So it's sort of like Ruger making a 1911. Only there's no MIM in your pants. But they'll make them for just anybody who wants the whatever, the style or the like look or whatever, and then some people are still using them. And then you'll get things like a security company will use that as their uniform, right? Because they're still in production, they can make them. But yeah, when you go to the store and find other stuff, you'll see there's probably like 4 versions of BDU, probably 2 or 3 that you, like I say, a winter and a summer or something you might find regularly. But then you'll see the pockets will start to change. Angle.
These are True Spec.
Yeah, there you go. And they'll say made in USA in there.
I don't.
They'll say made in South America. They might be South America.
Let's see. I'd have to take them off. I can't see it where I'm standing.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, that's, and then you've got probably older ones from like early 80s ish. When you get to later 80s, there'll be like a little piece of triangle fabric in the fly. Yours is a button fly, right?
Yeah.
There'll be like a little triangle piece of fabric that goes across, so that, I don't know why, so that you can cover your junk up or something when you're unbuttoning. I don't know why, but there's like this triangle thing that'll go across on newer, when you get at the end of BDUs or something.
Right.
I don't know what it was for. But there was an extra little button you could put in there.
Right.
It would come from like the right to the left for whatever reason. I don't know what it was for.
Interesting. Cool.
If you ever cut the legs off of BDUs to make them into shorts or something, you cut them below the cargo pocket, of course, so that you still have a cargo pocket, right? And then you just take that leg part and you sew it, you know, the part that you cut, you sew that, and then you have the cinch thing at the bottom, and then you have like a little cinch sack. A lot of people would buy like new ones to make them into shorts. They would make those little sacks right away.
Yeah, and use what's left over. Yeah, absolutely. That could be cool.
Oh, and then I was gonna say, and then you use that as a sandbag, so that you put that like around your sandbags, and your sandbags camouflage or whatever. Like a lot of people would just take like a shotgun shot thing, fill it with sand, and sew it back up. But now you put it in there, and now it's camouflage. At least that's what we did in the 80s, you know.
Yeah, right. That's interesting. Cool.
In 1996, Atlanco opened the first manufacturing facility in Honduras. Yeah, in Honduras under the name Basic Apparel. That is true spec. Oh, right on.
It is Atlantico?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Atlantico's true spec. Yeah.
They're from Marietta, Georgia. So there's a couple of you know that Coleman, they built. Wait, no, Brunswick. Brunswick built my uniforms. So Brunswick was a BDU manufacturer back in the day. But I think that once they moved on to other, styles or whatever, the real military, whatever manufacturers, they never like sell to the public. They just only sell to the military. They have no interest in selling to the public because they're just doing it as like a commodity job or whatever. You get places like True Spec and the other one, Proper, that'll either license or take those patterns once they're. I think they're all public domain probably. Anyway, they'll start making them, and pretty much made the same way, just different company making them. All right, well, that's a lot of pants talk.
Yeah, it was. That's okay. I figured it would be a weird subject, but that was actually informative. So,
yeah, pants are a neat thing, and they can make all the difference. If you're running around fighting your pants, that can make shit like pants that you're fighting is like an incentive to quit and go to be done, go home, finish, get back in the car, right? When your pants are working with you, holy moly, like you don't even think about them. And that's where I went whenever I went from. I used to wear BDUs all the damn time. And like I say, the big problem with them is just a plain old fly. Maybe that's why they got rid of the thing. Because I was going to say one of the big problems with them is you got just a plain old fly. So shit would get in there. Like dirt and shit, rolling around, farting around and whatever. And like there'd be dirt in your pants. So maybe that's why they put that thing in there now I'm saying that.
Then
the shit falls out of your normal pockets, like where your hands are in. Like whatever you call your normal pockets on a pair of pants.
right.
Like for whatever reason, shit don't stay in those pockets. Like they're just the cut of them or something, or the looseness of them. I mean, like you can keep a flashlight or something in there, but stuff just falls out of those pockets too easy, especially when you sit down. And then the cargo pockets, shit falls down all the time. But the main thing about the cargo pockets is they're not tethered at all. Like they made them too big. So the stuff kind of flops around. You can put like a notebook in there and it starts slapping your leg and shit.
I don't see how anything can fall out of these cargo pockets.
Wait till you sit down. Wait till you have like just little stuff in there. What'll happen is it'll roll.
But they've got like a double flap over them though.
No, that's just to cover the buttons for the uniform. That doesn't do anything for holding stuff in. So that front pocket is fine. The front button, I mean. The back button, though, there's that like little gap behind the back button. As soon as you put something kind of heavy in there and you sit down in a truck or something, it's going to fall out of there. It's going to be out of there. At least if you wanted it to be in your pocket, it won't be in your pocket.
Oh,
if you could care less, it'll stay in there, right?
Maybe. Well, it's folded over. I mean, I don't know.
Well, you'll see what I mean. And it's not like as soon as you put something in there, it pops out like it's lubed up or something. It's just it's just that they made them better. Where like my new ones, my multicam ones, they have two buttons, and you can choose. Like, I'm putting something in there that needs this other button. I can just switch it to the other button, and then if I don't care, I can just leave it unbuttoned. And then the other thing is like the front of the flap is kind of sewn already to the pants, and then there's a button.
Right.
So when you have the back button, you leave the front button unbuttoned, and then you have access to that pocket, like with the flap always down. So that's for like stowing mags and shit. Like there was some thought put into those things back in the day. It's just that they're a little too flimsy. And like I say, let's say you put 2 or 3 mags in there, they're going to flop all around and make noise and just be annoying. Where like some of the newer stuff will have sub pockets in there or like elastic thingies. So like you can tether stuff once it's in a pocket, or the pocket's just not freaking huge and you can, just put normal stuff into normal size pockets. And there might be 2 or 3 pockets instead of just one giant pocket. So they just do little shit like that. That makes it a little easier when you're running or walking around or something. But just for hanging around, you can't beat BDUs. And here's another thing that BDUs, I guess I didn't mention. When you're traveling, I don't know if there is a better pants than BDUs, because you can wad those things up, especially a summer pair, so small. You could bring like 3 pair of BDUs where, clean pair of pants every day at shot and be in the same amount of physical space as like one old-fashioned pair of jeans.
Right.
Because they are definitely smaller, material.
Yeah. Jeans take up a ton of room.
And they're heavy. And then you get them
Oh, yeah.
wet. And then that's the other thing. You get these things wet, they're dry in a second.
Right.
Body heat dries these things out.
Right.
And then once you get to multicam, the cry stuff, then you'll be like, oh, okay, I'm never wearing regular pants again. I'm only
that's what I posted there in the side chat, Clover. So if you want like a real nice pair to go to a wedding or to church on Sunday or something, like check out the Cry Precision, and you'll be wondering like, oh, what else can I sell to buy like 6 more pairs of these so I can just wear like 1 pair a week, right? Or I mean 1 pair a day, like every day of the week.
Right. Nice. Yeah, those are freaking cool.
Yeah, and those are the field ones. That's the pair I got. So they have the combat ones too. But I just like the field ones, and I haven't owned the combat ones, but just when I was comparing, I went with the field ones. They're a little cheaper. And don't pay attention to that price. I got mine a lot cheaper, almost for half that price.
So let me go to like one of the solid colors, this tan color, maybe this green color. You can kind of see a little bit better. Was it not going to let me hover over it? So you can see, I did. Oh, okay, there you go. Thanks. So you can see the pockets are up front now on your thighs. So immediately sitting in a car doing stuff, they're right there for you.
Right.
You got the belt loops, way smaller, or I mean fewer of them, and way more incorporated in. They're like tacked all along. They're just much nicer. They don't bite your belt at all. They support your belt. Looks like these have some sort of knee thing going on. Probably all kind of scallop cut, like one of those old Chuck Norris pair of jeans, so you can high kick somebody in the face.
The zipper goes all the way down.
The zipper here.
Yeah. So it's so much like especially if you have kit on and stuff, and you need to drop, trowel and like it.
Yeah, so you're not trying to piss out of like a thing that's this long, and you've got like a chest rig on and something, or just the side pockets are like all up on on you now, so that again you can just keep it all nicer to you. And then you can kind of tell they just put more effort into the stuff. There's just reinforcing on all the little areas, and there's like little separate pockets for little stupid shit. And then you can kind of see here they just added some internal organizers, I guess, that just keep stuff kind of from flopping all around. First time you put a water bottle in your cargo pocket, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not a big deal. It's just you wouldn't go run around with a water bottle in your cargo pocket.
And the quality though and the feel is amazing too. There's a lot to just the way they feel, and just like you just hold them in your hand, you're like, this is quality. It's a whole different
but
thing.
$214 versus probably $20 or something.
Well, I got mine for like $140, so don't quite believe that price. There's a place I'll give you when we go off air, a link to a place where I got mine a lot cheaper.
I don't have Cry's. Cry is the company that created multicam, and they got all kinds of money, and they make fancy stuff for like the elites. And then
Cryptek is the same way, more in the hunting realm, I think maybe. But they're
no, but I mean, yes.
Well, I mean, they created that camo, so like anything they sell with that camo is like really expensive. But other people license the pattern, and it's not as expensive.
Right. Well, I was gonna say with the I like multicam a lot, but I can't afford Cry, so I just get the new, like modern version of what you're wearing. It just happens to be in multicam, which is a plus, but it's also like the 2019 version of what you got on there. So a lot of these little, additions and advancements are already incorporated. The Cry does have nicer ones, but it's $200. The new military pants will cost you like brand new 60 at the most, right? 25 is what I paid.
Right.
Used ones. What do you want, old lady? She's pretty good at jumping for an old lady. She's 16 years old, and so far I don't think hasn't been on top of anything in this house yet. She's jumped to the top of everything and knocked things over of everything. Or off of everything.
Right.
All right, well.
Cool.
Tomorrow we'll get into belts and socks.
Right.
Where's Dano? I would have thought Dano would have jumped in for this one. Yeah. So does she.
Apparently not. Maybe. Yeah.
So John Z is saying LA police gear. Oh, have you heard of that store before?
No, I haven't. But
Oh, okay. So LA police gear, pretty easy to remember, and they've been around for a long time. Like he said, they're great for inexpensive prices, but same stuff, true spec, proper, whatever, military surplus sometimes. But what I've noticed is, or what I've capitalized on is like they'll do a run for, I don't know, maybe a security company, and they'll say, we want XYZ cut, like your BDU pants in brown, and then they'll make them in navy blue accidentally or something, and then they'll sell them for like $4. Like it's crazy low prices when they have like a error. I don't know what they call it anymore because it's been a while, but if you are looking for pants, LA police gear is a good, unless something's changed, it is crazy low price. Like brand new pants. I bought some brown ones one time. They were supposed to be making them, I think, for Border Patrol, and they made them in the wrong color brown. So they were just sort of like brown, but they were basically the same pants you got on there. For like $4 or something crazy. They were nothing. We bought like a bunch of them. What do y'all think about buying pants online versus going to a store and trying them on?
gotta have to go to the store at least for the first pair, I think.
Yep, I have to try them on.
Same here.
If it's if I'm gonna go with a different kind or a different style, I mean, I definitely might have to go in the store and check it out, first, and then after that, online's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But
I've bought the LA police stuff on speculation, and I'll say that maybe out of 4 times, no, maybe more like out of 6 times, once I did get a lemon. Like it was just a goopy feeling pair of pants, and I never wore them.
Now I'm looking at, for example, the ones I have on. So I'm looking at True Spec here, and they have, first of all, what is ripstop?
So what you've got is the winter, right? Let me see if I can just find a picture of ripstop. It's basically, you've seen it. It looks like squares, and it's a stronger nylon every other maybe quarter inch.
Okay,
so
they make tents out of it.
Yeah, they make all kinds of outdoor stuff out of it. It's a type of nylon. It looks like,
and it's supposed to do what it says. It's supposed to stop. If it gets a rip in it, it's supposed to stop that rip from growing.
Can you see this at all? Is it the detail coming up on the screen share? You probably see.
I see that in my pants. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, okay. You have that in your pants?
Yeah, it's got those little lines across. Yeah, these are.
Okay. Yeah. So that's basically like every quarter inch, they just sew either in I don't know, I think it's just a heavier line or whatever, nylon for a minute or two, and then they go back to the thinner. So that overall it's a thinner pants, but then if something starts to tear them, there's like a grid of stronger material. So it's just a way to incorporate strong and weak materials into the same thing.
Yeah, so it's not gonna. What you're saying is it's not gonna rip across that stronger material.
Not as easy. I mean, it will eventually. But it's gonna stop little rips from just like in the back on those green ones I was talking about from like Korea and Vietnam. You'd get a rip in those. Good luck. It was just gone. It's sort of like a rip in jeans. It's just gone. Like if you don't stop it real quick, it just keeps ripping. This just prevents that a little bit.
Okay, and then. I'm looking here. They've got they've got a 65-35 cotton polyester that is not ripstop.
And that would be your winter usually.
Okay, and then they've got a 100% cotton ripstop.
Okay.
Let's see, that's the same price basically. Then they got a 6.5 ounce 65-35 that's ripstop.
65 polyester?
65 cotton, 35 polyester. And then they got a more expensive one here that is and it's very limited with the colors on it, but it's a 50-50 Cordura nylon.
Oh, that's even stronger probably. So they've played around with the materials, it sounds like, maybe based on, people, maybe if you're fishing with it versus wearing it in a parade
Yeah.
versus, actually using it from dungarees.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see, and I'll do that when I go to bed. Of course, I'll probably take some pictures of the label or something to figure out which one these are. That way I know what I've got. Because I honestly don't know, but it's definitely ripstop. What you showed, if you look at these,
the stuff that I think that we get's 50-50. It's all 50-50 nylon cotton.
Yeah,
that ripstop.
I don't think these are going to be that because on True Spec, now this is MSRP, but it's showing like $89, and I didn't pay that for these. And all of these other ones are like $40 MSRP. And I probably gave 20 something, $30 or something for them. So a little bit more than I pay for jeans. But screw it. If it's as comfortable as they are and stuff, I don't care. At least going to buy a few more pair. So anyway, I killed the chat.
No,
I'm just reading to see if anybody's been saying anything. There's lots of chat or lots of comments going out there.
Right.
Yeah, I hardly ever wear shorts myself. I will live in the desert though, and we don't live in sand desert. We live in desert where there's plants, there's creosote, and there's other stuff that has like thorns and just obnoxious like edges on it. So there's no reason to walk through anywhere with bare shins and ankles and stuff. So I just really never wore shorts. Y'all wear shorts?
No. I have before, and I mean, like, I've got a couple of pair, and like, so around the house or something. But I don't. I mean, I got to be pretty close. I'm like you said, I'm not going to go out definitely get out into the woods or nothing. I'm not going to work in them, and I'm not going into town. So.
Yeah, I remember wearing shorts when I was a kid more, and then like more than once, somehow sticking my leg underneath something that got like oil all over it, and I'm like, oh, like your socket's all full of motor oil and like that. Not interested in that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. So. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There's a bunch of clothing talk. A bunch of dudes talking about clothes. If you look underneath your chairs, everyone's got a free pair of socks.
Right.
Funny.
Oh, I may have to get a pair of Tiger Stripe. Those are awesome. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to talk about socks and what boots to go with your pants next.
Yeah, I wear my snake boots around more than anything nowadays. I even wear those to town and stuff. I need a new pair. But yeah, I probably need some better looking boots or something for those times when wearing my snake boots around is not appropriate.
What kind of boots are you looking for?
Oh, I don't know.
Cowboy boots. He lives in Texas.
Cowboy boots, not even close, man.
You could look at getting some surplus boots.
Yeah, I mean, I could actually put. To be honest, I could take these snake boots if I cleaned them up, and then I don't zip them up most of the time, but I could technically zip them up. And these BDUs, because they're not freaking jeans, the pant leg is wider. It would go down over these, and then so it wouldn't look. Then they hug your calf and all really, really well. So I mean, they wouldn't look. Just the bottom of the boot be sticking out, and it would look like a regular boot.
You might have to explain to our audience what snake boots are.
These are snake bite proof boots. Yeah, I say that. I've said that a lot. I'm like, yeah, I wear my snake boots or whatever, and people think it's like cowboy boots made out of a snake, and that's not what I'm talking about.
That's what I was getting at. You might want to
I've
explain
had,
that.
yeah, I've had some of those before, but no. When I say snake boots, I mean like snake bite proof boots.
Well, maybe what you need to do is get yourself a pair of cowboy boots made out of alligator skin. That way the snakes won't want to bite you.
That'll work. I've had these for a while. It's about time for a new pair anyway. I could get me a new pair and then, wear them when I want to. But the beauty of it, I've gotten used to it because I don't have to worry about mud and I don't have to worry about puddles and I don't have to worry about creeks and you know what I'm saying? They're like snake bite proof and they're waterproof as well. They're like all the way up almost to my knee. So, I could go walking through whatever I want.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I've got a nice pair of surplus boots that I bought. They were literally new. And they're the Panama jungle style, where it's anti-spike and also steel toe. They're really nice.
Yeah.
I found a picture, I think, of what Clover's talking about. He said they go up to your knee.
Not even. Come on. Just wrong. Mine are camo,
those keep you from getting attacked by lounge lizards.
Especially ones named Larry.
Killing me. Y'all are killing me. I don't know. I don't think they make these anymore. I don't think I can look up a picture of them. Snake boots. See, even Rocky calls them just snake boots. That's all they say. Snake boots. People are like, what?
Yeah, we used to wear snake boots. It like when it was the season or whatever, snake season, like in the end of snow or whatever, they start warming up, doing fences or something.
Yep. Yeah.
Pants is saying his new boots have the composite toe over the steel.
Oh, his snake boots do?
Oh, Ozzy's saying he's gotten several pair of BDUs from Sportsman's. Might be worth checking out Sportsman's. They've got all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, these are true spec, and I've got a great in with true spec. So, I mean, I'm definitely going to go tomorrow, or may not go tomorrow, but hopefully this weekend. Go to the Army Navy store and look at some other stuff, and maybe try some other ones on and get an idea. But as far as getting some more just like this, may not be a problem from true spec. Yeah, where's my screen share? Bam. Let's see. So these are what I'm talking about. These are what I've got. They're called Low Country. So side zip up. But the thing is, it doesn't show it on here. Oh, it said 360 view. I don't know what crap that was, but it doesn't show it on here. But there is when they unzip, they don't separate. There's actually a layer that's underneath this zipper. So even unzip,
waterproof and stuff, that just tightens them up.
This just tightens them up. Yeah, they're even if you leave these unzipped, which I do most of the time because they're not as hot that way. I'll leave this unzipped if I'm just goofing off or whatever. If it gets serious or something like that, I'll zip them up. But yeah, they're still up underneath. This is still snake proof and waterproof. But yeah, no, I love them. I just want a newer set. I really want. I don't think they've got them. Yeah, I don't see them. Man, SHOT Show last year, they had some called like Broadhead or something. They were freaking amazing. Should have got them, and I didn't. They were a lace-up, though, kind of like this one. They were a lace-up, but then they had a zipper, too. These are just lace-up. Yeah, see, I don't like the lace-up. That's another cool thing. That's another cool thing about the zip. They're so easy to get into.
You can, especially on long ones like that, you can get sometimes zippers that lace into the laces, right? And then turn the laces into a zipper.
Well, it's true. Yeah. That's
I
true.
use Air Force boots for the bike that they lace up in the front, but then they've got the zipper on the side. So once you get them laced and they're in, they're right, you just unzip them and go from there. But as things change, if your feet swell up or you get thinner or whatever, you just relace them and you're ready to go.
They use those in the Air Force because they're so lazy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, here's the broadheads. I really like.
Wasn't it to get pilots out of their boots at the water landing?
What?
No, I think it's to cut down on a scramble time.
Yeah, exactly. So they can throw their boots on and get into an airplane quick. Or probably when they're up there, like you say, like, and they wear them like compression pants and stuff, they could probably like unzip them and be way more comfortable, right?
Mm-hmm. See, these have the lace, and then they've got the zipper too. And the traction and all on the bottom, that's why they call them broadheads. It's like an arrow or whatever. Well, on the bottom, they're very grippy. Yeah, here's the bottom right there. Pretty awesome. Of course, the traction on these I've got are old. It's pretty hellacious too. It's like wearing a mud grip. But I really like these. And that apparently they don't even make them anymore now. They introduced them at SHOT Show last year, and then now they don't even have them on the website.
Yeah, it's one of the things. If there's not enough people out there doing stuff, that they do stuff enough that they wear out their boots, right? Then they're not buying new ones, so they're like, they're wearing their boots they've had for years.
Right. Yeah. And it's like you said too, clothing. The whole clothing thing sucks anyway. Certain styles and what have you.
Yeah, it's got to be a no-win scenario with boots, right? You either make them so that they last forever, and then you never get a customer again, right? Unless you want to buy a different color or lose them or something or break them. And then, or you make them cheap, and then nobody buys your crap because it's cheap.
Right. Yep. Yep. Exactly.
All right. Well, I'm yawning.
There's your clothing edition of Daily Gun Show.
Yep. The clothing show, and tomorrow we'll have the fashion show.
Wow.
Gun Channel's fashion show. I like it. I like it. That could be a cool hashtag. You realize that, right? So I was going to ask earlier, and you didn't introduce anybody, I don't think. I think we kind of jumped right into everything. But at the very first, with the whole chairs against the wall. I mean, and John has a long mustache. Have you ever thought about changing that up and be like, Dano wears a black vest. Bob has a really big camper.
We've played with it before, but no, I don't want to change it because it's it's Red Dawn for one, and I think it's significant because it's it's the example of in the movie where they first get a chance to get in touch with the rest of the world.
Right.
Hopefully that's what we're doing on the internet, is using the tools that we've got to keep in touch so we don't get into a situation where people are out there by themselves. And it's a good message, right? That so anyway, I keep it for those reasons. But I was
just thinking if there was like a Gun Channel special version of it for some reason, that could be kind of neat. Come up with multiple messages and actually figure them out, like they mean certain things, right?
Yeah. Use them as actual, what they're for, code words.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Project for a different time, not tonight. Was just mentioning.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
You use all the Gun Channel's terms like quarked or gizzarded.
Yeah. Yeah. Psycho Camp has been quarked.
You guys never quark me because I never go live. I have discovered the secret.
Right.
So let's see. Today is Thursday. That means tomorrow will be Friday. Gizzard has his show tomorrow. I think that's it. But Budget moved his. to
Friday
Sunday.
used to be banging, and it's dead now.
Yeah.
I got the whole night to myself. Wow.
Oh, we got live chats back. I'll see if I can't get somebody's schedule for tomorrow. They had a couple that got moved around because of this craziness of this week. We got this week or tomorrow starts KD's event in St. Louis, so hopefully we'll see some feedback from there. We know Snob is heading over there. Marco and Tony are driving in. I tried to get Tony his patches. They got to him today, but he had already left by the time they arrived. So I missed. They missed. They passed in today, but or they passed. What should I say? They passed in on the road or something today. They were being delivered as he was leaving.
Transit. Yeah.
But Stilettos, Carrie, I guess, is going, and something else is going. Oh, MW Tactical is going, right? So a couple of people we know are going to be there, and I think we know of everybody else who's going to be there. Sean from We Like Shooting said he's going. So looking forward to what comes of that. Hopefully it's the first of an annual event. Has anybody had a chance to talk to Armament or Tevon about their event?
Ivan?
5ACP went, I think, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. I talked to Armament about it, and we'll talk about it off air.
Yeah, so they had their first of two this year, like Creator Summits. Sounds like a bunch of people came out with either their own rifles, I guess, to shoot and chat and get together.
Right.
And that was in Ohio. Anyway, so then I guess that's it. There's a lot of stuff going on this weekend. Stay tuned to Gun Channels for live stuff, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks everybody for showing up.